Foden was kind of going back and forth in the front line and in the midfield, he would have had a decision to make anyway. Whether you can outlast them playing like that. George, let's talk Alexander Isak, because of course, I don't know, he's first, second, or third in the Premier League in terms of goals this season. I generally don't remember the table, but he's right up there.
But yeah.
Oh, because of Chris Wood's hat-trick. So he's right up there with Mo Salah, Erling Haaland, and Chris Wood, three of the best centre forwards in Premier League history.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris Wood. We have a great season. We love Forest on the channel. We love you. Unlike the other guys, obviously he makes nowhere near as much as Haaland and Salah, or Chris Wood, who's a very rich person. No, we're going to stop with this one. But unlike the other two, he feels like he is kind of the guy on the cusp. I'm not dissing Newcastle in any way, but if there is somebody who wants sort of an instant fix target man, he was the guy that you might look at.
Yeah.
To go to a club that gives them the Champions League every year, whatever. That's if you can't afford Chris Wood. Evangelist, I'm trying to help your finances here. I'm struck by the fact that he has a combination of athleticism and physical strength that other people don't have. Mohamed Salah certainly doesn't have. And if we're comparing to these others, Chris Wood doesn't have the speed part. And Erling Haaland, his game is not as all around. I think, again, I've said this many times, I think it could be, as Isak's. And we've seen him score through power, we've seen him score through speed. The disallowed goal, whatever, it was very close, but like that kind of burst, that finish, I thought that was special. And then the goal with Saliba. I think that's William Saliba he holds off. Arguably the best centre back in the Premier League. For me, one of the top 5 in Europe. That takes a lot.
Yeah, Saliba struggles against him every single time, pretty much. I know other centre backs too, but he's the best number 9 in Europe for me. Really.
Wait. He's the best number 9 in Europe.
Yeah.
Better than Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Better than
Mbappe, better than
Haaland,
better than Haaland, better than Lewandowski.
Because I just think you just slipped in there, but we just said he's better than Mbappe.
I know. On the whole season, I know nobody's really better than Mbappe.
Okay. All right.
But on this one, I just think he's that good, and you summed him up really well. There's nothing more I can add. He just has everything. The others have a lot. Some have everything, maybe not. That was only on this season on the form. I know he hasn't scored for 2 games in a row, but before that, he was in incredible form. There's just nothing he cannot do. The physicality, the pace, the technical ability. He's much better technically than Haaland, for example. He's just, I think he has everything. He's young.
Much better technically than Haaland.
Yeah, definitely. We can't even compare them. Like he's a kind of a hurricane level. I think he can play 10 easily. And I just think the football IQ, intelligence, just nothing. The only thing you could have said maybe before was the fragility physically, because he missed for a few games when he was younger. It seems that even that is not there anymore. The other thing, I guess, is the very little Champions League experience that he's had, because he hasn't actually played that many games in the Champions League. So we haven't really seen him in the Champions League quarterfinals, second leg, where the pressure is high and you've got that chance to score. So that kind of environment we haven't seen. He played group stage with Newcastle and scored 1 goal. And that was it. So he has 1 goal in the Champions League. So on that point, he's not at the level of Kane, Haaland, Lewandowski, and Mbappe, all that kind of guy. But on the form of this season, for me, it's outstanding. And really, I love Newcastle, and it's a great club for him right now. But he's a Champions League player. He has to play Champions League every season. And if Newcastle doesn't offer that, he will then go to a club that offers him that.
It's interesting because obviously, when we look at the transfer market and what direction it's going in, and what clubs might be looking for centre forwards, I kind of get the sense he might actually be there for a little while. Simply, if you're Newcastle, there's other pieces you want to sell. We've seen, the Newcastle are determined not to be propped up to ridiculous levels by their Saudi owners, right? And then they're also determined to respect PSR rules. So far, they've moved other pieces when they've had to move them. So I think this is going to be interesting. I am not one of those people who thinks it's a given that Isak's going to be on the move in the summer. simply because he's so important to Newcastle.
Yeah.
They can legit ask for such a huge price, unless the engineers are moved or something like that.
Yeah,
That's a contractual situation.
Yeah.
We talked about Howe's tactics. Obviously, was defending and counterattacking, and why wouldn't you? Because you're second Gordon, you've got two of the quickest players around.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there were moments when they pressed as well, and I'm thinking of the second goal. The guy who nicks the ball off of Declan Rice is a centre back. It's Fabian Shaw. That tells you something as well, or was it just that essentially the 3-0 up at that point, and you can send people to press even from the back line? It's okay.
No, because he's done it before, and maybe I don't know, 5 minutes before the goal, there's a similar situation where Raya has the ball and is looking to play out from the back, and Rice has shared behind him already, and Rice does this little run and then run on the other side to try to get an extra yard on Cher, which he does. Raya plays him the ball, he plays it well, no problem. This time Cher was a really smart player, doesn't fall for it, for the little dummy that in his running that Rice does, and this time he's on the ball. But if you play with a back five and Arsenal have only one forward, you obviously have 3 centre backs for 1 forward. That obviously frees easily one of your 3 centre backs, and that's how also I think in Eddie Howe's mind the idea was like, okay, let's say Arsenal score first, and then we have to change a little bit of tactics, and instead of waiting and counter, we can go and press higher up, which they do at the start of the second half, which they did at the start of the first half as well. Then Cher is perfect. Cher can push up on Rice. You would have Isak on Partey, and then obviously Gordon and Murphy on wherever is the closest to the ball, either fullback or Odegaard or Luis Kelly or whoever. And that's exactly what happened. And Cher could have just been there and never recovered the ball the whole game. But that one time he did, and then super finished by Gordon. So that's also why I think Howe went for about 5.
So you weren't here. You didn't do the show after the first leg when Mikel Arteta came out and commented about the ball that was used in this game, and much hilarity. It's sour grapes. Probably not the cleverest thing to say because inevitably, now that they're knocked out, Newcastle trolled them mercilessly about the ball. Newcastle, the official Newcastle account had a picture of the ball and everything. And is this a thing, or was he talking about something very specific? Or
I just think if you play football once in your life, you know that everybody's different. You can't tell me that a Nike ball is the same as an Adidas ball, is the same as a Mitre ball, which is the same as a Umbro ball. Everybody's different. They're not made the same way. So are they different? Of course they are different. Does that have an impact at this level? It should not have really. I love Mikel Arteta, but it's the same ball for everybody.
And if you care so much about the ball, presumably you can have them shipped to you.
Oh, they do.
You can train with the ball.
Yeah, they do. They do, yeah.
That's what most clubs do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And Newcastle does the same thing too. It's not like Newcastle.
Completely. But you play the Champions League with a different ball than you play in the Premier League, and yet you have a lot of Champions League balls to train with before games, so that's not an issue.
On the Arsenal front, when we talk about the squad construction and the way it was built this year, so much focus has obviously been endlessly Kai Havertz, proper number 9, blah blah blah. We both expressed our feelings on that. We don't need to go further. I think we both agree that we could probably use another body. Obviously, the injury to Bukayo Saka and to Gabriel Jesus means that the people who are there have to play more minutes. Sterling, less so, but especially Martinelli, who came off injured as well. This is what strikes me about Arsenal this season. I'm seeing very obvious signs of fatigue. Even in the City game, which they won 5-1. If you look at the way the goals unfolded, there's individual moments, there's mistakes from City. Now they can still win, they can still cut it out. Obviously, you've got adrenaline, you're playing Manchester City. Is this, and this is this something that's kind of catching up